All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I've been hearing this rumor that in 2027 the PlayStation 7 will. No, wait a minute. That's just it's too many numbers. PlayStation 6 will be releasing in 2027. And yeah, I'm not a fan of that. And I'm going to be listing out my reasons because it has a lot to do with the stuff that got leaked out about the PlayStation 6. It's not something that's going to drive me into buying the PlayStation 6. It's stuff where I'm like, okay, I have a gaming PC. If I'm going to have to, I guess, just focus strictly on PC gaming, then yeah, I don't see myself buying a PlayStation 6 when it comes out. Because the thing is this, with the PlayStation 5, and I'm going to go in order: the PlayStation 5, the stuff that they should have had, and then talking on the PlayStation 6 and what I would like to see, what Sony needs to add to the PlayStation 6 if they are going to release it in 2027. But so anyways, PlayStation 5 that comes out in 2020. My thing is that even back then, like when back in 2020 when the console very first came out, I noticed that it was a lack of change when it came to the PlayStation. Visually, yeah, games look better. I think games had loaded up a little bit faster on PlayStation 5. But and then the frame rate was a little bit better because I know that there were games that I did play on the PlayStation 4 that didn't really play so good on the PlayStation 4, even though it was built for the PlayStation 4. And yeah, overall though, but on the PlayStation 5, I was like, okay, it does play a little bit better and stuff. But the thing is this, like, yeah, games, I feel like that is a priority. Games, they do need to play better. At the end of the day, I've seen games that look extremely cartoony, and then I've seen some games that look ultra realistic. At the end of the day, I don't care how a game looks as long as it plays good. But you got some games out there that don't play good. So my thing is this: what's stopping Sony with the PlayStation 5? What's stopping you guys? And you can even do this. I'm going to get to how they need to do this for the PlayStation 6 if they don't plan on doing it for the PlayStation 5. And I think it would be a good idea if they was like, okay, we're going to add this feature on the PlayStation 5, but make it better on PlayStation 6. I think the PlayStation 6 would sell a lot. I think it will sell better because I just think that if it's going to be like some iPhone stuff, ain't nobody going to buy the next PlayStation that's going to come out. So, but anyways, what they should have added to the PlayStation 5 is backwards compatible. And I know to an extent they have like a backwards compatible thing going on, but it's not as good. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, having it where this console was playing in the background to where, oh, it's somebody. I don't know if you guys was hearing this stream in the background. Hopefully you wasn't hearing this stream in the background. But anyways, but yeah, overall though, they should have added backwards compatible to the, like a console ago. That should have been a PlayStation 4 feature, and then it should have been a PlayStation 5 and then a 6 feature. But when they were detailing all the things that's going to be coming out on the PlayStation 6, I didn't see nothing about no backwards compatible. All it just seemed like that they were focused on is making a game look as good as possible. But isn't that left up to the developers? My thing is this: as a developer, as a video game creator, you should be the ones making a game look better, not Sony or Microsoft or whoever. Yeah, again, my thing is this: I know that they got like graphics cards where it makes games look amazing and all that stuff. Fam, there's been times where I play games and I'm like, it just seems like it doesn't matter what graphics cards. Throughout the years, I done had numerous graphics cards. I done did numerous upgrades to 2 different gaming PCs. At the end of the day, I feel like that's a developing issue. I'm like, my thing is this: if you have a video game that's out and it has all these issues, it has all these, and you're having to come out with updates on updates on updates, that's on the developer. That shouldn't be on Sony, because like half of the time when they be doing updates, it's not like when you guys are doing PlayStation like software updates and stuff. That's not focused on the game. That's focused on the console. So I'm like, rather than doing, and that's the thing, I never pay attention to what those updates be about. Like, cause what was the last update about? What was the update before that about? My thing is this: if you guys are gonna be, cause when you look at iPhone, when you look at, I'm trying to think of some other stuff out there, like yeah, gaming computers. But even then, it's like gaming computers. Like I feel like that they've been updated to a standard to where it's like you don't have to add no features and stuff. But like I guess like if we're going to compare it to iPhone for an example, when they do, like, yeah, they might have like those bug fix updates where it's like, and I guess like that probably is the reason on why they're doing that with PlayStation. But at the end of the day, still, it's one of those, I had kicked this pedal thing from my, like, when I'm playing racing games. So if you guys heard a little background noise, I don't want people comment talking about what was that. I kicked the pedal thing, all right? But anyways, no, it's like, if we're comparing it to iPhone, like, yeah, they might have, like, those occasional bug, fix updates and stuff. But eventually, they do, some update where they're adding new features and they're making, your phones better. My question is throughout the 5 years of PlayStation 5 being out, what have they done? What has Sony done to PlayStation to make it better? Because I feel like that an update that happened 2-3 weeks after the PlayStation release ain't no different than an update that came out 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm saying, like, at the end of the day, what new things did you guys add to where I can be like, oh, man, like, the PlayStation 5 is worth buying? Because if somebody were to ask me between the two, the Xbox or Play, or even if we don't even want to like add in another console to the comparison, let's say if somebody's all like, oh, what should I get, a gaming PC or a PlayStation 5? I'm like, if you want to save yourself some money, get you a PlayStation 5. But if you want like the ultimate gaming experience, yeah, you might not be able to play all the games that PlayStation has on your PC, but trust me, you'll find games to replace those games. Like, let's say Gran Turismo, for an example. They're like, oh, I want to play that, but are there any racing games out there that are like Gran Turismo? There are a lot of games out there that are like Gran Turismo, and there's games that's coming out that's going to be like Gran Turismo. But other than that, like, I know Spider-Man is on PC, God of War is on PC. I'm trying to think of some other games. Yakuza. What are some other games that are on from PlayStation 5 on gaming PC? They got a lot of games from PlayStation onto like gaming PCs and stuff. You even see that times it's on Xbox. But even if we're comparing the two consoles between them two, I feel like that the Xbox is a lot better. And the one thing that makes the Xbox so much better, in my opinion, than the PlayStation 5 is the backwards compatible. Now, yes, Xbox doesn't have it where you can play every single game from back then, but they do have a decent library of games that you can play from Xbox 360, and PlayStation, on the other hand, they have it where you can play PlayStation 3 games, but you have to stream them. And it ain't gonna be like a bunch of different PlayStation 3 games. Like, it's a few. Versus Xbox, yeah, they have their Xbox 360 and Xbox game, but you don't need to stream it. I think they might have a feature where you can stream those games. I don't know, because every time when I play a game on my Xbox, I download the game. So they have it where, yeah, you can download the Xbox game, you can download the Xbox 360 game, and you can play that game. So, like, let's say, for an example, I know there is that one game from back in the original Xbox called Black. It was like this military game, right? Let's say you had bought that game digitally. I don't think they had it where you can buy games digitally on Xbox, but let's just say that they did, right? You create an account on the original, for the original Xbox, Microsoft, whatever. But anyways, you have that game digitally. You have it where then, yeah, years later, Xbox 360 comes out. They say, oh yeah, Black is backwards compatible. You can play it on your Xbox 360. Cool, bet. Gonna play it on my Xbox 360. Fast forward, Xbox One and Xbox Series X, they ain't really that much of a difference besides visual stuff. But anyways, they come out, the next generation of consoles, and you still can play that game. PlayStation, for some odd reason, they're like, no. For some reason, they assume that gamers are only going to want to play old or new games. They don't want to play old games. What sense does that make? Why? My thing is this. If you wasn't that person that fell for the GameStop's trap where you were trading in literally your whole library and stuff, you still got your library of old games, would you love to be able to play those old games off of a PlayStation 5? So that's why it confuses the life out of me, where it's like you guys be having your price. It seems like that throughout the years, PlayStation downgraded their console, because I'm saying you guys had it where you didn't have to have no subscription service to play online games. You guys had PlayStation Home, the PlayStation 3. If I could just talk on how gold of a console the PlayStation 3 was, they had it where it was backwards compatible for 3 consoles. You can play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games off of the PlayStation. Well, it was the original PlayStation 3. Then for some reason, when they came out with the other PlayStation 3s, they only had it where you could play PlayStation 1 and 3 games. But for some reason, PlayStation 2 games, where I guess, yeah, it never exists. Only PlayStation 1 and 3 games. That right there should have warned people, or I guess, like, overall raised that red flag, like something's going on with Sony. You guys are adding a subscription service, you're taking away features, and we're supposed to be happy about that. That's that type of stuff that confuses me, because I'm like, do you guys not want people to buy consoles? Because if so, then I'm like, okay, let us know that. But if you want people to buy consoles, you have to have features that's worth buying. But if you're like, hold on for a second, let me see what that, like the stuff that they were talking about that they were going to add to the PlayStation 6, because it was one of those things where I'm like, so there was okay. So there was like the leak. So yeah, it was like likely targeting a fall 2027 or early 2028 launch. Chiplet design Navi 5. I don't even know what that means. Powered by 40 to 48 RDNA 5 compute units at 3 gigahertz or higher and 8 times Zen 6 cores. Don't know what that means. 3 times graphics performance and at least 6 times ray tracing. Okay, so games is going to look slightly better. Backwards compatible with PlayStation 4 and 5. Where's PlayStation 1, 2, and 3? Because that's the thing that I feel like that Sony doesn't understand, is that there are people out there with old video games. So there's this retro game store that I discovered last year, and fam, I bought so many different PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 1, 2, and I didn't buy a whole lot of PlayStation 1 games, but I did buy a lot of PlayStation 2 and 3 games. I would love to be able to play those games without having to worry about the console that I'm playing it on, the PlayStation 3, because I have the one that plays 1, 2, and 3 games. I would love to be able to play those games off of my PlayStation 5 and not have to worry about the console breaking down on me. Yeah, if my PlayStation 5 breaks down on me, then I have myself a faulty console. And I'm going to definitely contact Sony, and because I bought it from the Sony website, and be like, hey, you guys have sold me a messed up console. Versus the PlayStation 3, I'm like, fam, this is an 18-year-old console. This console, it's like, my thing is this, at some point in time, I'm going to be like wishing it like the console is going to be old enough to drink. That's how old this console is. So that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's already getting to that point where it's, because what I got, I got it. It was this month, 18 years ago. It was for my birthday. And I remember it was for my birthday. First game I got for it was Def Jam Icon. Yeah, I was like, and it's crazy to think like I've had the console for that many years. Like, bro, my console is old enough to buy a rated M video game at GameStops. Like, it's old enough to go see a rated R movie. It's old enough to go to an 18 and over club. I'm saying, like, this console is, and that's the thing. I don't know if it's going based off of people years or dog years, but if it's going off based off of dog years, this console, it's going to be at a point in time I'm going to have to pull the plug on it. Literally pull the plug on it, because it's getting up there in age. So my thing is this. So, all right, and then the other stuff that they said, so there was Edge, 3nm Tech and Blazing, don't know what that means. Fast GDDR7 memory, don't know what that means. More efficient and uses less power, 160 watts TBP than PS5, as Sony plans to bring down the price. Now, okay, cool. That I had to say that was probably the only good thing out of it, is that they plan on bringing down the price. But my thing is this though. All that stuff, and then let's just say if I was like in control of Sony and I had to say so in what we were going to do for the next console, so I definitely would have it where PlayStation Plus, we had so all the games that Sony has ever, like the games that Sony owns, so if like Twisted Metal, God of War, Gran Turismo, all that stuff, day one of the PlayStation 6 coming out, all those games are available on PlayStation Plus. Then on top of that, I'm like, and I guess if it's something where it's like last minute we couldn't do anything, I'm like, okay, we plan on releasing a device. Let's say if there are like 20, so if the console comes out in fall 2027, I'm like, okay, there is a device that we immediately start working on where you can plug it off into your PlayStation 6 and you're capable of playing PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. So in there, it's like all you just gotta do is buy the device. Device might be like $50 or something like that, $50 to $100 maybe. But yeah, I'll have it where it's like, so yeah, if you plug in this device onto your PlayStation 6, then it overall converts the game to a better looking game. So visually it'll look better. It'll optimize the controls to your PlayStation 6 controllers likings. Or if you want to, I mean, it doesn't seem like that the controllers have changed that much. The only things that they've added over the years, I guess, to the PlayStation 1 is the analog sticks and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, there ain't really much to change with the PlayStation controllers and stuff. But I'll have it where it's like the games are optimized for the PlayStation 6. So I'm like, my question is that what's wrong with announcing some stuff like that? Because I guarantee and I promise you, if you announce some stuff like that, retro game stores, and then on top of that too, let's say if there was like they wanted to add like retro games to the store, so it's no longer, I'm like, we're taking away that streaming feature. I mean, if you want to stream a game, then cool, do that, but at the end of the day, don't nobody stream a video game. They download a game or put the game right in the console and start playing it, I guess, depending on what console it is, but ain't nobody streaming a video game. So I would definitely get rid of that feature, but I would have it where it's like a PlayStation or a classic category in the PlayStation store, where it's just a long list of a bunch of different PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 games. So I'm like, that would be put off in the classic category. Or I guess like if maybe like PlayStation 5 have it where it's like those games are in the like news category, like new games and stuff. But then PlayStation 1 through 4, that's in the classic category. So my question is what would be wrong with doing something like that? You know, and that's the thing where I'm like, you know, Sony, if you guys want people to buy a console, you got to do things that's worth buying. But if you're like, oh, we're going to have it where instead of 50 droplets being on LeBron James's forehead, we're now going to add 60 droplets to his sweat droplets to his forehead. Oh, and cars, they're going to look a little bit more defined. The funny thing is, you can compare a trailer of a game like, let's say Gran Turismo 7, and then let's say they're coming out with Gran Turismo 8 for the PlayStation 6. You can have a side, and that's what people are going to end up doing too. They're going to do a side-by-side comparison. There ain't going to be no difference. The only thing that they're going to do is be like, oh yeah, there's going to be new cars and maybe a couple of new tracks. But at the rate at gaming is going right now, it seems like that they add less when the game comes out, and then you have to like wait, I guess, like 4 or 5 years down the road, and then by that time they're already coming out with a new console. So really, I mean, they're still adding cars to Gran Turismo 7. So that's why I'm like, yeah, fam, it's one of those things where it's like, you guys still got games that you need to work on. You still got a console that you need to work on. The PlayStation 6 does not need to release until 2027 or 2028, unless you plan on just rolling out a bunch of different updates that's going to make this the greatest console of all time. And that's the thing that people have been saying, though, like, oh yeah, PlayStation 5, it's better than Xbox, it's better than the Nintendo Switch. Fam, Nintendo Switch, they have it where you can play like this big giant category of all these different games from back then. If you guys are hearing the motorcycle outside, I do apologize. So yeah, let's go ahead, wait for him to go up out of the neighborhood. Cool, bet. Wherever you going, hope you safe. All right, anyways, get back to this episode. So, but no, overall though, the Nintendo Switch 2, because I have the 2, so it ain't no different with the Nintendo Switch 1, but I just talking on their latest console. But anyways, they have like a online, and then their subscription service is a lot cheaper too, but they have it where you can pay them like $50-$60 a month. And that's if you're like, I guess, like doing an individual thing. I think it's a little bit more expensive if you plan on having like multiple people playing off of that online service and things. But anyways, but no, just you by yourself. They have it where you get online access. They don't have it where you get to like, there's like games for like the new games that they release. Like you can play those games for free if you're subscribed to their service. Probably if it was like that, their service would be a lot more expensive. But no, they do have it though where you can play like a bunch of different Nintendo games from back in the day. So they got, like for the Nintendo 64, they got Super Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, 007. I think they got like some Legend of Zelda and Pokemon games, but that's just the Nintendo 64. They got, I think, Nintendo. Hold on for a second. Let me turn on my Switch real quick and show you and tell you guys all the different stuff they have that you can play on the Nintendo Switch. Well, I guess if you have the 2, but even it's the same on the 1 also. But so they got the Nintendo Entertainment System. They got so it's the original Nintendo that came out in 1985. They got all these different games that you can play, like golf, ice climber, pinball, soccer, Super Mario Bros. They got like, yeah, it's a gang of games that they have on here that you can play and stuff. That's just with the Nintendo Entertainment System. Then they got the Game Boy, the original Game Boy from 1985. They got a bunch of games that you can play on here too. Legend of Zelda, Pokemon trading card game, Mario Golf. These are just some of the titles. Donkey Kong Land 2, Donkey Kong. What else? Then they got Super Nintendo. Yeah, they got Legend of Zelda games. So yeah, they got like I think all the like Zelda and Mario games on. Well, not all of them, because there was a Donkey Kong game that did come out on the 64, and they don't have that on here unless I'm missing it. But yeah, they got like but they do have quite a few. Oh, they got that game Ridge Racer 64. I wanted to. Well, no, I think that might be another game, but. That's weird though. They ain't got that. What was that Donkey Kong game that came out on the 64? Because there was a Donkey Kong game that came out on the 64. Donkey Kong game in 64. What was Donkey Kong? Was it called Donkey Kong 64? I guess it was called Donkey Kong 64. I thought it was but they don't have it on here. That's weird. I felt like they should have had that game on here. But anyways, but yeah, they do have Nintendo 64 games, Game Boy Advance games. Then they just recently added the Nintendo GameCube. So yeah, they got quite a few games that you could play, and it's crazy because like all you gotta do is subscribe to their service, and then yeah, you get to play like the online games. Or you get to play online for the like Mario Kart stuff like that, or the new Mario Kart games and things. But and then talking on Xbox, they have it where it's like, yeah, you subscribe to their service, you get to play hold on, because I do have my Xbox turned on too. So let's just go over some of the games they got for the Xbox Game Pass. So most popular games they got, you could play the newest Call of Duty game, Minecraft. This it's kind of like that movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, but they just recently came out with the new game called Grounded 2, Grand Theft Auto 5, Forza Horizon 5, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, Call of Duty. Oh yeah, they did just add Call of Duty World War 2. Abiotic Factor, Descenders, Gang Beasts, Dead by Daylight. That's just the popular games. And then yeah, they just recently added, I'm not really a fan of that game, but I guess if you guys want to play a farming simulator, they got Farming Simulator 25, RoboCop, Rise of the Tomb Raider, or what are some other games? I think I did say Gears of War and stuff. But anyways, I did play a little bit of this one game called Spray Paint Simulator, The Division, Police Simulator, Doom, The Dark Ages. That game was pretty good. Did play and beat that. That was pretty fun. Crime Scene Cleaner, Autumn Fall. What are some other games they got on here? Watchdog Legions, Sniper Elite, Resistance, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, I think that's what it's called, Goat Simulator. What else? They got Payday, Sifu. What are some other games? Yeah, it's like they got like a gang of games that you can play on here, and that's the thing where it's like their service is worth subscribing to. PlayStation, on the other hand, it's like your guys is here. Look, all right. Now I mean this. I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but at the same time, there are things that you can add to your guys' console. But if people were to sit down or they were to ask me, is the PlayStation 5 worth buying? I'm going to keep it a buck with you. It's not. The PlayStation 5 could be a lot better, but for some odd reason, they want to just skip out on the PlayStation 5 and I guess add new things to it and then focus directly on the PlayStation 6. It's one of those things, man, where I'm all like, yeah, bro, the PlayStation 5 can be a lot better. I don't know what they got going on, but I'm like, yeah, Sony, you guys, there's some stuff that you need to do before you start thinking about the PlayStation 6. But any PlayStation 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and any other ones. So, but yeah, if anybody is like, when the PlayStation 6, when they do come out, and they don't announce no backwards compatible situation for PlayStation 1, 2, 3, and I guess 4 games. But I mean, I feel like any PlayStation 4 game, like that's available on PlayStation 5. Like they either have it where it's like it's a game that's just it's meant for all consoles, or they came out with a version of it that is for the PlayStation 5. So, but anyways, if they don't have it set up where you the backwards compatible thing, like you could play all the old games, like you don't need to be subscribed. Like if you, and that's the thing with Xbox, if you have, so like let's say there's a game that you have for the original Xbox or Xbox 360. If you have the game in the physical version, All you just gotta do is just put the game in, download it, and start playing it. PlayStation, on the other hand, they have it where you either have to, so you have to be subscribed to their service, but you either can stream the game or you can download the game, but you have to be subscribed to their most expensive service. Versus Xbox, if you have the game, you don't need to be subscribed to no service. So, like, let's say you have the original Halo, or you have the original Gears of War, or I'm trying to think, Forza Horizon 5, or not 5, but the first one that they came out with. If you have any of those games, a physical version of those games, you could put that game into the console and start playing it if it's backwards compatible. But if it's there, I know there have been times where I play games that's not backwards compatible, but at least my thing is this: I do have, it was the second to last Xbox 360 that they came out with, so I would say that I think I'm in the clear of the Xbox 360, but eventually it's going to get to a point in time where that console starts getting old, and I'm not trying to have it where I'm going out buying a bunch of PlayStation 1s, 2s, 3s, Xboxes, Xbox 360s just so I can play games where it's like, fam, you guys make, and just talking to both Microsoft and Sony, you guys make billions of dollars a year. There should be no excuses on why you guys aren't adding new, like, technology that's capable of playing old technology. Like, that, to me, that's weird, man. But, and you know, the thing is this, I remember I tried doing this on my Xbox. I could not figure it out to save my life, and I'm like, you know what, it would just be a lot easier if they rolled out an update that allowed you to play old games. But anyways, so I guess the Xbox, they got like this developing mode feature where you can play old games, but they have it where it's set up where it's like you gotta do all this extra stuff, and I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to play an old game on a new console. It's weird, man. But anyways, yeah, I guess if I do ever figure that out, then that's how I will be playing them my games. But yeah, but I'm like, it should be a thing. But and it even goes with Xbox too. If they don't do no situation where like all games are backwards compatible, I have no desires on playing or on buying the next Xbox or PlayStation. I'm like, it's just be a waste of money versus gaming PCs. Yeah, it's like from shady websites, but I think I'd rather go through them shady websites and just, and that's the thing. I'm like, I'm taking that risk and I don't want to take that risk, but I'd rather go through one of those shady websites and just go and get the game that I want to play. Like if there was a game where I'm like, dang man, like I can't find it in those stores, I can't, they don't have it available to be purchased digitally on the Xbox or PlayStation, or PlayStation is like, I gotta be subscribed to their service, but here's this shady website that allows me to play the game. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to I have to do my research on that website, but I think I am gonna have to go through that website and play the game off of my gaming PC, because to me, it just don't make no sense where you guys got this technology and you making billions of dollars a year, but yet you can't have it where we can play all the old games that we have. That's weird, man. So, but because it's like, that's one thing you gotta do. You gotta listen to the gamers. If you're gonna be putting out products for the gamers, you gotta listen to the gamers. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.